Some are good at replacing windows, and some are good at putting a new roof on a house. Or in a mill, it's a bit more old-fashioned, and there you are dealing with a cultural heritage. And that's where the millwright comes into the picture, because he knows how the technique should work and how to restore things. And it requires a lot of specialized knowledge, a lot indeed.
We do not have many mill builders left in Denmark. As far as I know, I have been around and talked to some of them. We have one left who has a journeyman's certificate from old times.
My name is Yan Neielson, and I am a mill builder, and I have been for the last 50 years. I'm about to turn 78, so it must soon be enough. Then there probably isn't, then I probably won't, then I have probably done the work that I need to do.
Millwright was an independent trade in which one could obtain a journeyman's certificate, but that was until 1970s. Now, if you want to be a millwright, you must first have a carpenter's education, and then you must join a millwright company to learn the specialized craft there. If you train as a carpenter today, you use modern tools. So the knowledge of how to use the grinders and the machines that are around in the mills disappears with the last mills if no one takes it upon themselves to learn it from them.
The Danish traditions are threatened, and in a way that's natural. As long as there are so few of us who know the small details and what the Danish traditions are.
There has been a tendency to also bring in millwrights from, for example, Germany and the Netherlands, but that has something to do with the fact that in Denmark we are relatively highly paid. It is cheaper to bring a Dutch millwright up here than to use the four we have ourselves. And the Dutch mill builders who come, they bring their tradition. I mean, we do things differently. A break in a Dutch mill in Denmark looks wildly different from how they look in Holland and so on. And when it's so difficult to get the money, you're inclined to say, we'll take the cheapest offer. And thus, we very easily lose a part of our own mill tradition. Mm. And yes, it's understandable, but it's also a bit disheartening.
Well, the particularly Danish thing is that the mills are primarily made of wood. This includes everything from the supporting structures all the way up to the gears and the large shafts. The wings are made of wood. It is very Danish. In Holland, it has become the tradition in the last 200 years to use iron wings. This mill here, we have what we call an onion-shaped cap. It is also a Danish version of the Dutch mill and its tradition. And so I am very much in favor of preserving and ensuring that they are recreated in our restorations.
I made the new wings for that one. I made both of them. I knew one needs to be made again. Whether it will be me or someone else who makes it, I don't know, or if I can't do it anymore.
Much of the work in the mills requires a lot of strength, and therefore there is a real need for some who are younger.
I have had a couple here and have been involved for a couple of years, and then No, it wasn't the thing after all. It was too troublesome because it was dirty work when we went out and messed around on the mills, you know. It wasn't like sitting at a computer. So they weren't interested in it after all when it came down to it. So, if no one wants to learn from that and see what happens, then it will be forgotten. It will.
Shouldn't we just get some of those?
Wait.
Of the leaves?
I think it's exciting to work with, and you learn something new all the time. You learn the old craft, how it was done back then, and much of what you learn at the mills, you can also use in future work. So we constantly have apprentices in the company who can carry on the good traditions when I one day retire.
If you find someone who is a craftsman at heart, there is nothing more exquisite to produce than a mill, if you ask me. Because you have everything a carpenter loves. Lots of wood joints, large timbers, heavy timber. You have some timbers that need to move, and it must have unparalleled precision. And if you love craftsmanship, you can't help but love mills.
Well, I think mealwork is incredibly exciting because it is so different compared to so much other regular carpentry work. Like most people can replace windows and stuff, but not many can replace a mill's main post, which I find significantly more fascinating. It's a machine. It's what do you call it? A carpenter's version of a car.
And I have been totally captivated by it ever since I started. But when I talk to many of my friends from school, they in several ways don't seem interested in it, whereas I am completely crazy about it, and I might even sit and watch videos about how to build it.
Plaster, it's always the same, and windows are always made in the same way, and there's no way a mill is like that.
The mill couldn't run, the cap couldn't turn, and it was almost rusted solid. And that's not good for a windmill. Build here and expect the mill to run again. The cap needs to turn again, and it should be a real windmill, one that can actually mill.
Dyrehave Mølle is unique in that it's so well preserved, that it's the old millstones that are still there. It hasn't been rebuilt. Once we're done renovating or restoring the inside, it'll stand just as it did in 1858 when it was finished and handed over by the Millwrights. And real Daniel was on board with that. The two men looked at it and then they bought it. And then we were lucky enough to be given the task of leading this project. This really helps tell the story of where we come from, who we are, and what kind of development we've been through. A mill like this is actually a high technology, built all the way back in the 1850s, as we can see here. It's important that we tell that story. It's important to know where we come from, to have that foundation with us.
There are a lot of things with an old mill, I mean challenges, because it needs regular maintenance and someone has to look after it. The mill is, after all, very worn, and it's also infested with worms. So a lot needs to be done inside if it's going to be a mill where you can have visitors later on.
There's a bit I sawed off from the wheels, and they're completely eaten away because of worms.
It's important for a mill, if it's going to last, that it's actually used. Because you shouldn't underestimate a mill. It's a machine and that's running.
It's a machine, an old-fashioned machine. And it's powerful. And it's fascinating. It can easily keep running almost continuously. She runs, grinds flour, and does all the other things we do with the mill.
There are so many exciting, beautiful old mills in Denmark, both water mills and windmills. And in the end, that's what it all comes down to. It's both that we also keep the interest in the old mills alive and that there's a local community and that supports it. Besides, of course, there also needs to be funding available for, among others, the mill builders and those who are practically involved.
Today we're going to try running the mill for the first time. No one has tried it yet, so in a moment the architect will also arrive. Then we'll try turning the sails, and these star wheels in the background should also start moving. It's the first time, and it's always a bit exciting because a mill has its own character. It's almost like a person.
This is something we've been looking forward to for half a year. Holy crap! I'm taking the break here.
All right.
Go, you guys. Wow. Damn, that's amazing.
We're all so eager to watch. You have to be careful, they're driving around.
It's also a story about great craftsmanship and solid knowledge of how to build a mill. It's something that's built to last. And it's something we really appreciate today.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just like this, really. It runs nice and smoothly.
That we need to go back and rediscover good craftsmanship. Here we are in 2020 talking about how things should be worth preserving. And actually, when we look back while discussing new technologies, what we're really doing is looking back to see how things were done in the 1800s. How did they do it in the 1700s? You can't hear it at all. It's just running there, calm and steady. If you look outside, you can see the blade passing by the window. It comes by in exactly the same rhythm as this turns. It's a fine gear. It's actually striking that maybe only 15% of the surface has been damaged. Everything else is from back when the mill was built, and it's sitting exactly as if it was put up yesterday. That's what's amazing about building things properly. There's no doubt that some enormous forces have been unleashed. Just think, they managed to create a system that allows, now the mill itself is running, or now the mill blades are turning. You're grinding grain down below. If the wind shifts and suddenly you get wind from the west instead, then the whole thing turns by itself and you just keep on grinding. It's perfect. It's amazing how quiet it is here.
Well, that's mill construction for you.
For us, it's important that the mill can actually work. It's not just a display piece. It has to be able to grind. It has to be able to run in a storm. Part of the story is that back then it could do that.
Why is it important to preserve the cultural environment? That's actually a very broad and quite difficult question to answer. Our regulatory approach is that it's one way to prevent a society without history, because windmills have had a huge impact on the Danish landscape. There have been windmills in every single season. The miller was an indispensable figure in a farm community. We believe it's crucial for understanding who we are as a culture and as people.
Can you try asking about the quality of the grain? Yes. If you have a bit of experience with it. You can easily understand where you ended up, right?
One day when the mill has ground flour for the first time in 44 years, without a hitch, without any problems at all, that's clearly a milestone on that journey.
I feel proud to come from a small country where we've managed to create such amazing things.
Our history is is important for our identity. And a big part of our history was life in the countryside. We were mainly farmers, and part of life in the countryside was our mills. Considering that Denmark is at the forefront when it comes to wind power, and what are the wind power and the electricity producing mills we make today based on? They are based on the knowledge gained from a Dutch windmill, which has laid the foundation for the entire windmill industry that we are rightly proud of today.